Tell us about yourself.
Okay, well, I'm actually new to Texas. I moved here in September from Southern California. I have some friends here, and I would visit the area regularly, mostly in the football season because I've been a Cowboys fan for a long, long time. And after many years of traveling here, I decided that this was definitely a place for me.
Anything in particular that was there a point in time when you said, yes, this is the place I want to be?
Yeah, probably about a year ago. I think it just all the hospitality here and a lot of changes in California, and I feel that Texas is just much more hospitable, and home prices obviously are much better than California, and I just thought it was a good time for me to change.
And when you came to Hackberry, any first impressions?
I find this community, I love this community. I mean, I've been here 5 days, but I did find that this board is very active. There's a lot of passion, and I just think they're doing an amazing job. Very much involved, and I like a lot of the homeowners are involved, and I think it's good. I think that's what makes the community a community, when you have a lot of positive involvement.
I was going to ask you specifically what made it amazing, but tell us a little more about the involvement you see, or when you met people, what makes you think they're that involved?
Well, you have board members who have various backgrounds, and they all take on special tasks or role within the community. I'm working with Roger and working on the Southern Oak street replacement, and Bill is very much involved with the communication that I'm learning, and you've got Mark, who is working on all the TV and all that kind of stuff. Everybody has their background, and they all bring that to the table and participate for the betterment of the community.
Great. And what interested you in the field of this kind of management in the first place?
Well, I started out a long, long time ago working for a developer who developed golf courses. And they worked with another developer, a home builder, and they did all of the homes. And so I've always worked with homeowners, and just kind of, I don't want to say I fell into it, but I just kind of started out that way with a builder and progressed from there. And I like people, and I like to be challenged, and I never want to be bored, and you're definitely never bored in this industry. There's always something new. I've been in this industry for 20 years, and I think I still learn something every day, if not every week.
Speaking of learning things, anything in particular surprised you so far about this kind of management here or elsewhere?
Well, Texas is much more lenient than California. So I come from a very rigid background of California, and so here it seems so much easier. While I'm not going to say that it is, it just feels that way thus far, without having to meet so many deadlines and obligations that are put upon us legally in California.
Yeah, Texas seems to be more of a do what you think you need as opposed to do what government demands of you.
Exactly.
Yes. In terms of how homeowners can utilize your knowledge and your leadership, when should people contact you, and when should they not contact you?
Well, anything that's association related, of course, call. We are there to help. I mean, even if it's not, I guess, in dealing with the golf course and anything that I can help with, I'm happy to try to assist and direct anyone in the right direction.
Speaking of that, when does your responsibility begin versus the board? You know, there are all kinds of issues at Hackberry and other issues. People are concerned about safety, and they're concerned about car parking on the streets, a lot of typical issues. So where does your involvement happen, and where does the board involvement happen?
Well, I kind of manage the day-to-day and gather information for the board. Ultimately, the board is the governing body. They make those decisions, but I try to gather information for them and give them that so they can make educated decisions, and really talk about what's practical and what's not, and what's really going to work with the homeowners and what will not, based on my knowledge and my experience, and kind of help direct them in what I think may be the best way for the community.
Good. Tell us something most people don't know, but they would smile when they heard about you.
I don't know.
Tell us about your family.
Um,
Family.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have kids just
Okay.
because I didn't want any, and that,
Yeah.
I've got my 2 little furry dogs, my furry kids, I should say, my little dogs. I don't know, people probably are really surprised at how competitive I am when it comes to football. Very competitive during football season.
Well, tell us about that, and tell us what attracted you to the Cowboys, even though you didn't live in Dallas.
Probably, everybody watched the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Everybody watched them. I mean, didn't they? They were always on. And, I remember watching Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman. And I don't know. I think that's just kind of where it started. And when it comes to football, like, I will watch the draft. I will watch other teams, see where they're at, kind of tracking their wins and losses, especially when it comes to the division competitors. Kind of obsessed that way. I want to be the winner.
Well, and I guess sometime soon you'll be going to AT&T Stadium. Maybe?
I will.
Yeah.
I will. I've been there a number of times. I've gone to some playoff games last year. I love it. It's great.
You were here for playoff games?
I
even?
was here last year with the Lions. Yeah, it was the Lions and the Cowboys. I was in the end zone.
Wow.
That was an exciting game.
Yeah, and what brought you to that game?
Well, like I said, I have friends here, and it was a playoff. I had to go to a playoff.
And what did you think of AT&T Stadium?
I think it's beautiful. It's amazing. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. You're never bored. There's so much going on there, and I think it's beautiful. I like it.
It is. That'd be a heck of a place to manage. That's even bigger than Hackberry.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that one.